Hey everybody, just got done watching Coffee with Scott Adams and I wanted to make a little audio tutorial. We're going to call this the Love Punk Records audio tutorial. I'll call it audio live stream tutorial. So he was talking about, first of all, you need a microphone. That's true. You want to find one that's good. And his problem he was running into was he was saying phantom power and all of that for these condenser microphones. Luckily, there's an answer to that. Both the Zoom H6 and any of those blue, I would say like the blue Spark, the USB model, would be a good start. I am going to stick on the Zoom H6 though, so you understand some of the built-in functions of, you still have benefits sticking with hardware with built-in functions. So the Zoom H6 has this really cool polar pattern microphone type of setup on a thing with a screen so you can actually watch your metering, and then here's your volume control. And it has places where you can put phantom powered mics on the edges. So there's those. I know that looks garbage, but these are the microphones, and you can change these to 90 degrees, or I think, or 120. They're actually turnable, which is pretty cool. So the cool thing about the Zoom, we were talking about, well, yeah, you get your microphone, but then you need a stand. The Zoom has a camera type of stand, so you'd be able to put any type of camera that you use for video. It would be a camera adapter size. And what I do even, I just have it sat on a large piece of foam, and I know that might not be the best way to do it if you need to move it around, but there's good camera stands that have noise isolating. The other thing that I would do first is I would cut all the there's a low cut filter bit built in, and this cuts this, like if this was the frequency spectrum, your highs and your lows, all that room noise and other stuff, the low end rumbles there. So you cut out everything probably below even 100, because you're only doing vocal type stuff. Not 100 degrees, goodness gracious. 100 hertz. Vocal based things, but you can cut it and experiment using your ears, using your monitoring. It has a headphone thing built in as well, so you can get everything set beforehand. You can cut out all your low end noise. It even has a noise gate built in, so it will only kick in. First of all, I'll say that. Low cut, 1. Secondly, noise gate, if you want to cut when you're not talking and you want it to cut out, noise gate. Thirdly, just to get all of your words at the same level, and let's say that there's a waveform here that looks like this, and that's, let's say, the center of the line here. And usually, audio waves are like this. I would do a compressor, which kind of, it fits everything that was in this type of sphere, it puts it into this. So all of the quiet stuff down here, all of the loud stuff up here, gets condensed or compressed into this type of thing. So it's all the same level with a little bit of variation. And that's a compressor. And I'll delete all this here real quick, sorry. Compressor. So that's after your low cut, and that's an equalizer decision. You're cutting you're turning down the volume of the low end. There's the noise gate, compressor. After that, compressor brings everything into a all the quiet stuff, all the loud stuff kind of into its own thing. And these are all built-in functions on the Zoom. And I've been able to do live streams just straight from my Zoom as an audio interface into my computer. Oh, the other cool thing too, if you want external audio, there's a line in that you can set as well, line in level. And that will, that's if you want external media in there, and you can control the volume similarly with these volume controls. Just like these condenser mics have volume control, so do the line-in volumes. Okay, finally, to get it up to YouTube streaming standards, we're going to talk about YouTube normalization of volume. YouTube normalization. So there's a ceiling of -1 dB. Remember, sound is all relative. That decibel, volumes, all of that. This is -1 dB from unity, is what they call it. And luckily, you can set a limiter on the Zoom H6 to do that. So when you set your limiter, you can do a hard limiter. Let's also bring back the compressor. So your compressor just made everything pretty much the same. A limiter is like a brick wall, which will cut off things like that and bring it all to this standard level. And that you have to do that to the -1 dB standard. Otherwise, YouTube will take your quiet stuff, your loud stuff, and all of that. And if you didn't have a compressor, even it would really mess up. Your videos would be quieter than everything else. So yeah, you can do all that in the box with the Zoom H6. If you're using some type of streaming software like I do, I would use the Zoom H6 and OBS with compressor and limiter plugins, which are built into that software as well. I use a bunch of compressors and limiters for this, but literally one piece of gear and then whatever thing you're using for streaming. But the cool thing about YouTube normalization is if you have even everything down here and it's compressed and limited and stuff, they will bring things up. It's when these loud peaks are not limited that it sets the limit to up here, and then all the quiet stuff's a lot quieter. So anyway, that's my little lesson. If you guys want details, go find me on Love Pump.